Every Monday for the last 5 weeks, we've all been eagerly logging into our Netflix accounts, or more likely the Netflix account of a friend, family member or ex-partner, to watch the latest installment of The Last Dance, the story of Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls, arguably the greatest team ever assembled. But there was a void this past Monday when there were no episodes 11 or 12. After all, it ended with Jordan signing off from the Bulls with a second three-peat and walking away into retirement for the second time in his career. The end. Except it wasn't actually the end. This is the story of Jordan's real last dance. It was 1999, and Jordan was finally out of the limelight and 99.9% sure that this time, the retirement would actually last. He was 37 years old, and although still the best player in the NBA, he was ready to leave on top, as the greatest there ever was or ever will be. But his feet began itching for those Air Jordans once more, and in 2000 he attempted to satisfy his basketball addiction by becoming a part owner. He headed east, to Washington and the Wizards to become its new part owner and president of basketball operations. It was a new challenge for him, taking on the business side of basketball he was so clearly irked by during the documentary, rather than the physical side. He took the same "my way or the highway" mentality that he had on the practice court into the front office. His say was final and no one was in any position to say otherwise. He began with some decisions which were universally popular amongst Wizards fans, like purging the team of its overpaid underperformers, bringing in his old Bulls coach Doug Collins and snapping up the first #1 draft pick to be selected straight out of high school. "If you draft me, you'll never regret it," Kwame Brown reportedly told Collins. So Jordan drafted him and would certainly have regretted it. Brown averaged just 4.5 points in his first season and was traded away after 4 years and remains a point of ridicule for the Jordan era. Jordan's itch to dust off his shoes this time became undeniable, and he left his role in the front office to take up his true calling on the court, working tirelessly during the offseason to be ready for the start of the 2001-02 NBA season. He pledged to donate his entire salary to the families of the victims of the 9/11 attacks, and his debut was a sellout. In fact, every Wizards home game was a sellout for as long as he was playing with his new team, and it became the most watched team in the NBA, averaging 20,172 fans at home and 19,311 on the road. He became the first man over the age of 40 to score 40 points in an NBA game and even bagged 51 points in a single game at the age of 38. He averaged 23 points per game in his first season and 20 in his second, and surpassed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as the all-time leading scorer in All-Star history in his 14th and final All-Star game in 2003. Such is his legend that he was even offered starting spots in that game by both Tracy McGrady and Allen Iverson, but refused both before finally accepting Vince Carter's offer. He was the Washington Wizards' best player, but that was the problem. He wasn't at the Bulls anymore. There was no Scottie Pippen or Dennis Rodman or Steve Kerr or Luke Longley or Tony Kukoc to rely on to help him anymore. Nor did he have the engine he had in the late 80s and a 20-something star single-handedly dragging the franchise to the playoffs. He began to openly criticize his teammates in the media for their lack of focus and intensity, and became visibly annoyed with them on court, and suffered an injury-plagued first season where he only managed 60 games due to recurring injuries, even if he was the only Wizard to play all 82 regular season games the following year. He was used to dragging his teammates to his level of dedication, or as close to it a mere mortal could get, and he simply couldn't do that anymore. The game had changed, and he couldn't simply bully players into improving anymore. He retired at the end of the 2002-03 season, to a 4-minute standing ovation in Philadelphia after reluctantly re-entering the game following relentless chants of "We want Mike" from every single person in the First Union Center. Miami Heat retired the number 23 to honor Jordan, even though he never even played for them, stopping LeBron James from wearing it when he took his talents to South Beach in 2010. After putting the Air Jordans back on the shelf again, this time permanently, he and many others assumed he would return to his original position as the director of basketball operations for the Wizards, but his colleagues in the boardroom had other plans. He had rubbed them up the wrong way, while the decision to draft Brown still dogged him in the media, and he ran Richard Hamilton out of Washington only to see him thrive in Detroit, even though he was not technically director of basketball operations at the time. Management was particularly unhappy with the hostile work environment he created, which made it a miserable environment for young players like Jerry Stackhouse. He was unceremoniously sacked on May 7, 2003, less than a month after his final game, by the team's owner Abe Pollan, signaling Jordan's greatest embarrassment in basketball. "I obviously wouldn't have went back to play if I knew I'd be sacked," Jordan told CBS in 2005. "Because I felt like I played injured, I went through surgery. And I didn't have to do it, but I did it with the benefit of trying to help an organization to get back on their feet. And the gratitude that was given, it was your service is no longer wanted or needed. So I felt like I was used in a sense. But we've all been in situations where we've been used. And we regret what we've done, but you learn." And that, actually, was Michael Jordan's real last dance.
"It was a last dance," said Coach Jackson. "A farewell tour for the dynasty."
Jordan, Hornacek up on him. With the left hand, Jordan to the hole. Wrapped up by Ostertag, and somehow, some way, he scores. Who coach? For Michael, against Russell. Up and under, and 2 to end. Michael working on Russell. Brings them to within 1. Malone is doubled. They swat at it and steal it. Seconds from game 7 for 6. Jordan, open. Chicago with the lead. Michael Jordan running on fumes with 45 points. That may have been the last shot Michael Jordan will ever take in the NBA. The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship, and it's their second three-peat. He no longer needs accomplishments to prove his case as the greatest player in NBA history. And if this is the final chapter, what a way to close the book.
Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And hit the notification bell to update you on my newly uploaded videos. Thank you.